had first heard about the game Schedule 1 about 3 weeks ago online, and I could instantly tell that it was going to be the next hit indie game. Not only was I drawn to this game because of its unique concept, but also its extremely specific genre of game that I'm coming to love. I reviewed a game much like this one a few weeks ago with TCG Card Shop Simulator, and in that video I went over how I believe that the chore/job simulator was an upcoming genre, even though so far the pool for this type of game is still shallow at best. But before we talk about the contents of Schedule 1 the video game, we first have to learn what Schedule 1 means in the first place. A Schedule 1 substance is any hug that has no current medical use and has a high potential for abuse, meaning in this job simulator, instead of selling knockoff Pokemon cards like in TCG Card Sim, you're going to be selling various different kinds of hugs. As a person who has seen quite a lot of TV and movies about hug trafficking and all of the drama and shenanigans that come with that, this game immediately shot up to the top of my must-play list. In Schedule 1, you're obviously meant to be portraying a low-life, small-time hug dealer with only one grow tent living out of an RV parked in your uncle's property. The tutorial area reminds me of a place in California we like to call the High Desert, as opposed to the other side of the San Gabriel/San Bernardino Mountains. This area is mostly dry desert with a few sprawled out cities around that all feel a bit more dead than their metropolis counterparts due to the low population, but even so, these are the types of places where you can fly under the radar and slowly build an empire, but suddenly your uncle is taken into custody and you're forced to flee to a new town with only what you got in your RV, and alas, even that is taken from you as a rival cartel has caught wind of your arrival already and blows up the last place you had to call home while you're out getting a lay of the land. The new town you arrive in is a bit of a suburban wharf town, kind of somewhere you would expect a show like Bob's Burgers to take place in, and is absolutely crawling with the fuzz. There are a few different sections of the city that are divided up into different social circles between the population, and these different social circles need to be unlocked by progressing through the story missions and simply dealing to your customers in order to gain their trust. The immediate area around the hotel and your first apartment is heavily populated and has tons to do, but the farther you go away from this area, you can kind of tell that they are still developing this area, but seeing that many homes and areas are beyond the starting area got me super excited to see what the finished product of the game might finally look like. It almost feels like an evil version of Stardew Valley. The core gameplay starts out with you dealing light hugs on your own with only your phone contacts and your jailed uncle to guide you. The first place you have to live is the motel, where you can fit a few grow tents if you're good with space that will quickly turn around a profit for you, with grow time taking less than a day, yielding quite a few buds. Before you can start dealing though, you need to procure supplies from the local dealer and stores, and even stand at a desk packaging each hug individually, though you can eventually hire help to smooth this process out a bit, though it is pretty expensive to do. But hopefully once you are manufacturing at the rate where you need that help, you will have enough money to where it won't be a problem. You list your available product on an app, and your contacts start texting away to schedule appointments with you for various amounts of hugs. There is an offer system to the selling where you can set your own prices if you don't think that the customer is offering enough for your product, and you can even change the amount and type of hug being dealt in this specific deal. You then tell them a general time, and that NPC will walk over to a place that they specified when the time occurs and stand there waiting for you, but you have to be very careful when conducting the hug deal because there are times that police might be walking by or even posted up in a sneaky position trying to set a trap that almost feels like a sting, though the customers don't really react to you getting busted if you get caught. You have the option to run away before they put cuffs on you, but the customer just gets off scot-free and waits there until the deal time ends. If you do manage to escape before the deal time ends though, you can attempt to reattempt the deal, but I found that the cops just kind of stand there, staring at the spot that they caught me, making sure I won't come back to try again. One of my favorite things about games like this where you sell things is being able to make passive income, or at least income that you can collect that takes little to no effort from the player, like animal products in Stardew or game tables in Card Shop Sim, but unfortunately at the moment you only have one way of doing so, which is working with a dealer to distribute your product for you. Though this game does have a system where you can buy small businesses around town, you can only really use them in order to launder money. If you surpass the limit on the ATM machine, which is pretty high anyway at $10,000. It would be nice if they at least made you some income at least every morning based on how expensive they were to buy. It seems like a missed opportunity that can be easily implemented, but as I said, this game is still in early access, so all things are still possible. I do want to mention that there is combat in this game. It's just not really there yet. The most I've had to hurt somebody is when a junkie tried to rob me because I couldn't sell him anything he wanted, but so far, even in my post-recording playtime, I still have not encountered any adversary cartel members trying to take down my operation just yet. I think that Schedule 1 is a game for you if a goofy, lighthearted game about trying to build a hug empire is something that you're interested in. This game is much like Stardew Valley, both in its cultivation systems and timed days, as well as being a job simulator like TCG Card Shop Simulator. There are tons of ways you can make silly little concoctions that will torture the hell out of the people that you serve in hilarious ways. There's tons of different expensive things you can buy, like property and cars, all the while becoming the biggest kingpin this town has ever seen. My all-time favorite things about Schedule 1 is the atmosphere, interactions, and individual personalities a lot of the NPC characters have already. Whether they're big nerds like Austin Steiner, little creeps like Peter File, or off-the-rails addicts like Jesse Walters, they all mysteriously have their own quirky ways of showing their quirky personalities through the bare bones design of this game. I think that the developers achieved this through how each person forms their text messages, what they prefer to use, and the areas of town where they frequent. The atmosphere of the game feels super dangerous and sketchy. I always imagine myself as a sketchy guy in an oversized coat, slipping in and out of alleyways as the cops constantly patrol and barricade the streets, setting an early 9 a.m. curfew that will have you arrested for being seen out when it's in effect. The tone of this game is also very much set by the music it exhibits, almost being a stoner mashup of High on Life's soundtrack. very bare bones while in early access, so don't expect much from the story or the map, but the skeleton for a great adventure selling hugs is definitely there for this game, and I think that when it's finally finished, it might be a very interesting playthrough with tons of action and drama. The map currently is a bit dead in the outer areas, but the area that the game has focused on so far in the Wharf Underpass is still packed with activities, having a skate shop, illegal trafficking warehouse, and quite a few properties, businesses, and vehicles to buy as well. I am super excited to see what is to come of this game. I have been playing it a ton these past few days, and I'm cracking up at all the hilarious videos I've seen online about people making the craziest hugs and just straight up breaking the laws of physics, and I think that bodes well for the type of community this game can possibly hope to garner along the path to its full release, and I intend to be there every step of the way. If you enjoyed this video and you have any tips or personal opinions on Schedule 1 and your experiences with the game, or if you just want to chat about nerd stuff with me, please leave it down in the comments section below and leave some suggestions for other games you'd like to see me talk about or try in the future for videos on this channel. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and all that I ask is that if you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe down below. I will be releasing a new video every Monday.